The orange sun dipped low behind the Faculty of Social Science building, casting long shadows on the cracked pavements of the University of Lagos campus. I stood at the rooftop of New Hall, holding a half cup of malt with groundnut, staring into the Lagos sky like it held the answers to the puzzle my life had become. In 5 days was my project defense, the final hurdle between me and my BSc in psychology. But that wasn't what made my hands tremble. It was him, Damola, the boy I wasn't supposed to love, the boy who disappeared 3 nights ago after whispering to me, "No matter what happens, don't trust anyone, not even your supervisor, Amaka." Since then, my heart had been in a chokehold, racing between fear, love, and unanswered questions. My phone buzzed. It was 9:37 p.m. when Bimpe called and said, "Babe, your project file is not in the departmental server." What? I froze. Don't tell me my project is gone. Just yesterday, I had triple-checked it. 48 pages of research, sweat, late nights, and caffeine vanished. "Babe, I can't find it," Bimpe replied and hung up. Then, an unknown caller called that same night after Bimpe's call. I picked up. A low modulated voice, on the other hand, said, "If you want Damola to leave, don't show up for your defense." Before I could even ask why, the caller hung up the call. I became more confused, then began to recollect how I met Damola, the boy the unknown caller spoke about. 4 months ago, Damola was the type of boy you read about in the final chapter of a campus romance novel. He's smart, effortlessly charming, with the kind of smile that made girls forget their GPA. Yes, you heard me right. His department was electrical engineering, and mine was psychology. We had no reason to cross paths, except for that day in the library when I spilled Zobo all over his white shirt while trying to secretly take a photo of a lecturer's textbook. Instead of getting angry, he laughed. "Please tell me you at least got the shot." And just like that, something started. Damola and I became inseparable. We spent nights working on our final year projects, trading banter and suya behind the Faculty of Science, sneaking into locked labs with the help of Musa, the security man, who believed we were siblings, weirdly enough. But beneath the playfulness, Damola had secrets. Sometimes he did get strange calls and step away, whispering in hushed tones. I once caught a glimpse of a red USB drive he tucked deep into his bag. He said it was for his project, but something about it felt classified. Still, I was too in love to question him until he went missing. Still thinking about Damola and how we met, I dozed off. The next morning, I raced to the psychology department, my department, only to discover that my file was nowhere to be found. No acknowledgement that I ever submitted anything. I confronted Dr. Ezekwe, my supervisor, a baldy man with a heavy accent and heavier ego. He sipped his Lipton slowly, smiled and said, "You should have been more careful, Amaka. Losing a project at this stage is unfortunate." He knew he had a hand in what was going on. I stormed out, head spinning. I ran into Bimpe, my best friend, roommate, and sometimes academic lifesaver. She grabbed my hand. "Amaka, we need to talk. I overheard Dr. Ezekwe on the phone last night. He mentioned you and something about the fire not reaching the committee. He's sabotaging you." "My God," I replied with tears welled up in my eyes. Days back, before Damola's disappearance, he had given me the key to his room because he lived outside the campus. He had shown me where some of his important documents were, just for safekeeping. At the time, I thought it was sweet. Now, it felt like a clue. After my conversation with Bimpe about Dr. Ezekwe's plan, I quickly went to the girls' hostel and picked Damola's room key and headed straight to his lodge. On getting into his room, I went straight to the bag where he buried the red USB by the side of the bag. I plugged the USB into my laptop. Inside the folder titled Niger Delta Research Funds Misappropriation Files, my breath caught. Damola's project was more than an academic endeavor. It was an expose. He had stumbled on data revealing how top university officials, including Dr. Ezekwe, had diverted millions meant for research into private accounts. This was why they wanted him silenced and me out of the way. I didn't sleep that night after I returned back to my hostel. I retyped my entire project from scratch. My hands ached. My eyes burned. But I couldn't let them win. At 4 a.m. the next day, an unknown caller called. It was a delivery man. He asked me to come out of the hostel, that he has a message for me from Damola. "What, Damola?" I replied. Was he alive? I thought. "All right, I'm coming," I replied him. We met outside the hostel and he handed me an envelope. Inside the envelope, there was a small note that read, "Trust Bimpe. Go to the art studio basement. Bring the red USB from Damola." What? I was shocked. How did Damola find out that Bimpe overheard Dr. Ezekwe's plan? Could he be monitoring me? In spite of fear and many thoughts running through my mind, I followed the directions. The basement was cold, damp, and filled with old canvases and forgotten sculptures. And there he was, Damola, bruised but breathing. He ran to me, hugged me so tightly. I felt like time stood still. "I knew they did come for you," he said. "I thought you were gone," I whispered. "We have one shot. You go for your defense, but play this." He handed me a flash drive. "During your presentation, expose them." Finally, the due day arrived, the day for my defense. The panel was assembled. Dr. Ezekwe sat at the center, smoked as ever. My name was called, but I didn't enter immediately. Then I heard Dr. Ezekwe saying that I have no project, let alone defending it. Before he could finish talking, I walked in, head held high. The projector flicked on. I introduced myself and the title of my project, which is A Psychological Analysis of Corruption, Induced Cognitive Dissonance Among University Administrators. Everyone in the room kept mute and paid rapt attention, especially because it was tailored to them as administrators. The project was a trap. The title was a cover. At the 5 minutes mark, I inserted the second flash drive. Footage of secret meetings, voice notes, Excel files with bank transfers all began to play. Gaps filled the room. Phones buzzed. One lecturer walked out. Dr. Ezekwe's face turned pale in disbelief of detailed records. Every actions, conversations, and individuals involved in the act was exposed, including Dr. Ezekwe. Before I finished the defense, EFCC agents were on campus to investigate the case because they were all carrying recent dates, numbers of the lecturers involved, their voice, and their full names were on the bank transfers. The head of the panel asked everyone to remain silent and that no one should leave the room. Then he thanked me and asked me to leave, assuring me that everything would be sorted out. Weeks passed. The defense panel reconvened, this time with a new supervisor, because Dr. Ezekwe, my previous supervisor, was a culprit of the crime. I passed my defense with distinction. Meanwhile, Dr. Ezekwe was suspended indefinitely. The Vice Chancellor issued a statement promising reforms. My story went viral on campus blogs, and Damola, he stayed, not just on campus, but with me. We graduated hand in hand. On our last night in school, under the mango tree by the lagoon front, he whispered, "You didn't just save me, Amaka. You saved a lot of students who never had a voice or boldness to expose corruption." I smiled. "And you? You burnt your entire career for the truth." He kissed me softly, for love too, for us. Thank you for watching.